Today we're diving into the fascinating journey of transportation in America and the evolution of cars. So buckle up because we're about to embark on a ride through time. The convenience of cars and airplanes led to the decline of passenger train services in many areas. So did the privacy of being in your own kind of bubble in a car. A lot of people like to travel at their own pace. They like to do things at their own pace. They don't want to wait around to have a bus or a train that they need to catch. And so I think people were really independent in America. Maybe this isn't the same in some of the other countries, but people really value their cars. It's one of those things that people will kind of never give up, or they'll even go get a car payment that costs as much as their rent. After trains kind of gave way to electric trolleys, kind of in parallel, at the same time, cars came along and kind of pushed both of the trains and the trolleys out of the way. The powerful automobiles and the massive highway system reshaped America's transportation landscape forever. From the roaring classics of the 1920s to the muscle cars of the 60s, automobiles became a symbol of freedom and mobility. The highway system grew, allowing people to traverse great distances with unprecedented ease. It's really nice to get up close to some of these vehicles and see some of the details. Some of the older vehicles were just so crazy with the details. The wings that swoop and the hood ornament, the inside, they just redo this stuff so nicely. And sometimes you can see some crazy cars like the Rat Rod that just looks like it's built together from scrap. However, it's still an amazing vehicle. I can't believe it drives, and it's been going to these shows for years. These collections are a lasting remnant of an era that will be a shadow of our past in another 20 or 30 years, but with great conveniences are environmental concerns and traffic congestion. Many cities have realized the traffic concerns and the pollution, especially if you start looking at some of these places in China. And so the value for something like a bike, something like public transportation that runs on electricity and electric cars is the future of modern cities. As we fast forward to the present, we're witnessing a renewed interest in electric vehicles. With advancements in technology such as lithium-ion batteries, and not to mention future tech we don't even know about, and a growing awareness of sustainability, electric cars are paving the way to a greener future. One day our kids, or at least grandkids, will probably all be driving another form of vehicle. Probably electric. They'll all be maybe self-driving. It's hard to say. We're even still waiting for our flying cars, so who knows? They'll go ahead and make good on the Jetsons promise where they'll have flying cars, or at least maybe they'll come up with hoverboards by then. As of right now, though, we're kind of in that transition period, and it's definitely a hard one. There's a lot of controversy about what the next fuel is. It seems like electric is pretty much taking over with us focusing on renewable energies and solar and everything like that. However, our dependence on oil is still crazy huge, and so that's something that everyone kind of needs to take a look at. If you're using a ton of plastics and everything, we only have so much oil, so see what those plastics are made of. In my opinion, we really need to save the oil for things like roads and tires and stuff that we haven't found other ways to make other than oil. And we can switch anything that we are powering from gasoline to other forms. So that's definitely something to consider. Even something like propane is probably a little bit more clean than something like oil. So just keep that in mind as we move forward. Electricity is not always the best solution. However, it's the easiest. The sun is always there. It's always providing electricity. Tides are always there. They're always providing energy. Wind is always there. It's always providing energy. But they all come with some downsides too. So when windmills often can get in the way of migratory birds, or other birds will run into them. Solar, it can lose efficiency over the years, and it's pretty costly to start. All rely on something else, which is basically batteries, because you can't have all of this stuff running and producing a ton of electricity if it has nowhere to go. So the advances we're having in batteries are what I believe is paving the way to this electric future. Whereas in the past, you always had to basically have electricity run to the tracks or above it so that they could, rely on it to power the vehicles. Nowadays, we can power them up ourselves. We can basically charge pretty quickly in general. We can charge fairly quickly in terms of how much electricity we're pushing into these batteries. And so I think it's finally set us up to have a lot better future where we are using electric vehicles rather than these old gas-powered vehicles. Hopefully this will mean eventually having also very much simplified vehicles. You won't have to have all these crazy emissions things. You'll basically just have the engine and the batteries, and that will be it. Electric trolleys, which once ruled the streets, find a modern counterpart in electric buses and trains. While transformed, they remain integral to the transportation of goods and people across the nation. As we reflect on this journey through transportation history, we can't help but marvel at the cycles of innovation and the transformation. The rise and fall of electric trolleys, the glory days of trains, the evolution of cars, each chapter in our own transportation story becomes its own lesson. Now, as electric vehicles regain prominence, we're reminded that history continues to shape our future. Let us carry forward the lessons of history and beauty and preservation as we venture into new horizons. Please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day. Bye.